Okay, welcome everyone to our regular meeting, Tuesday, September 21st, 6:30. I'll ask again if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, I'll move on to staff reports. And let's see, John Paul, did you hand one out?
Yeah.
Did you give me one?
Oh, no, it went to Kris.
No. So
Sorry.
there we go. Thank you. So John Paul first. Okay. Clearance is John Paul. I don't understand.
Oh, this is from the last meeting, just for the septic setbacks from any kind of water courses.
Okay.
For your class 4 or 5s, with your septic and holding tanks, like through the Ontario Building Code, it is 15, but through a zoning bylaw, it's 30 meters.
Was about the trailer by.
Yeah, right. So the top one is 1.5 from structure.
Oh, sorry, from a lake. If you go 3 down,
Yeah.
structure, well, lake, so any kind of class 4 or 5 sewage system through Ontario Building Code, you're 15 meters back minimum.
Okay. Good. Okay. Any questions for John Paul on any of those? And just be reminded, it's the next meeting where we start with
Yeah, we'll have a committee of adjustment
committee of adjustment
on
for,
October 5th.
right, for Redwood.
Yes, correct.
Right. Okay, any questions for John Paul? Okay, now I may or may not have as much package, so Dan,
Well, I didn't write one today, I was
So-
busy out in the field, but
because you're here,
yes. So we did the guide rails on Sunset Cove, they're all done, and then we were doing the culvert, we had the road shut down. Do that deep culvert, we got it backfilled, it's all done, so I had it shut down for 5 days, but we got it done today in 2 days, so we opened the road back up. So we'll be busy doing guide rails along there also, but we can do that while the road's open. And other than that, yeah. Did a culvert inspections on Friday with one of the engineers, just to go over our culverts and stuff. Because we want to go, maybe we're looking to do an RFP for next year for culverts inspections, so I had someone come in this year just to do one, because we're supposed to get one. If we need to do one to be in line with every other municipality around here. So if we go with whatever company, we'll all be in the same, on the same inspection time frame.
so now when somebody comes in this Friday, that's just a local engineer and just checking that one.
No, we checked them all.
Okay.
We all, like, whatever, there's 13 culverts and bridges. So we went through them all. We went and visited, looked at it, inspected each one, make sure no defaults, or pretty much they're in line with what was reported last year.
What size of culvert were
Anything 10 feet. Yeah, it's considered a bridge, so then they have to be inspected. And then we went and looked at all the 2 bridges we had. We didn't do Hummel because we already did that big extensive report on it already. So nothing's falling down, it's all good.
I'll congratulate you on getting that done in 2 days rather than
Yes,
5.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it went well. We didn't have to deal with the water. There wasn't much water running through the culvert, so it went well that way.
Lucky you did it when you did it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's we're gonna get, well, even tomorrow, it's gonna be bad.
Okay,
Sounds that way.
well done. Okay, any other questions for Dan? We'll move over to Will then, please.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. So the water tank's installed at the rink and it's filled up with water, ready to go. We're have our auto extrication training at the landfill this Saturday. So we'll be blocking a little piece of that off, just so the public can't come in wandering into the training area. The fitness center. We need to have a chat. So effective tonight at 12 o'clock, in order for the fitness center to be open, everybody has to produce vaccination with photo ID. So in order for you to go in to use the gym, you have to physically show us your vaccine card and a piece of ID. So we're going to have to either have them come to the office, arrange for somebody to be here like on a, 2 hours on a night, close the gym. It's totally up to council, how council would like to operate this. Kris, do you want to touch on?
I do. So the reason I gave everyone a copy of the fitness center budget is to point out a couple of things. So our revenues that we had budgeted for the fitness center were 15,000. We prorated all of the memberships that were in good standing when we had to close. So we won't have that revenue. But of the 15,000 that we had budgeted for this year, we're at 1,800. Okay. Our expenses right now, when you look at the fitness center labor, that's for the maintenance labor. Now, we didn't have our maintenance person going in while we were closed. And the amount that's there, plus the 2-hour daily cleaning from September 1st to December 31st will bring the total of that up to 6,626. So there's significant cost with running the fitness center, and the supplies at this point are over budget by 1,200 because of the required cleaning and the different things that we need to do. So we feel that it's a council decision because these items are.
Right now with the card lock thing, it's open 24 hours.
It's open 24 hours. It does close between 8 and 10 p.m. to allow for a deep clean by our maintenance person each day. But yes, it's open 24 hours. And
Someone wanted to use it then, that the going to the office where the card isn't viable.
So what will happen is, once they show us the vaccine report, we'll have it on their profile that it's been shown, and we can activate their fob again. So they just have to show it once. They don't have to come and show it every time. So once you show it to us once, we'll put it on the profile, and then their fob will be reactivated.
we will have to, I'm sorry.
No, you go.
We will have to suspend day use and week use and 10-day use because they don't use fobs. They usually come in with other members. All of that has to be suspended, but we don't have a supervised entry. So we'll be on the honor system for that. We did realize when we were trying to pull up the information we needed to contact our members that the swipe card system that we have in there that was originally put in is not user friendly for any kind of report. So we may need to look at something to update that so that we can actually use it for the information.
So we have no way of knowing if that there's 1, 2, 3, or 4 going at one time.
That's correct. We don't.
And we
know
might
that
only have
now.
one vaccine report on file.
That's correct.
The other thing is with the significant costs going up, I think I mentioned this last time that we may have to reduce the hours that we run the fitness
Even
center.
if it's only open for a few hours and stuff, facility clean. So
Yes,
regardless of.
well, I'm thinking perhaps less days a week is
that
what
would
we're
be
looking
an
at,
option.
yes.
But right now, we have quite an uptick in people looking for memberships. So today we had 4 people call wanting new memberships.
Okay.
So as the word gets out, we will have an increase in our membership. It is a valuable service, especially going into wave 4.
I don't see it as a have to make money or even have to break even. I think it's a service that we should provide. We don't have to, but I think it's a service we should be able, already have the equipment, if it's gonna cost us in our cleaning, then it's gonna cost us. So maybe later on, next year, we'll have to readjust the budget or maybe increase the fees a wee bit, or
Well, according to this, it looks as though a year would cost us probably $26,000 a year just on cleaning. Am I correct? If it's costing us 66 for 4 months,
It's costing us 54 for 6 months. I added.
for
in
6
the
months?
additional.
Okay. That
For
doesn't
four-
show,
no,
that
that's
shows,
for 4 months.
that's for 4 months, yeah. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
substantial to clean that for a year.
Yeah, you're looking at 20,000.
Well,
Do we keep it open from now till the end of the year? That's gonna, I mean, we're gonna be 5,826 by my figuring,
mhm.
over budget. So, you know, do we?
Is
do
there any
this?
more COVID money? Is there any more?
We have COVID money in reserves to use. We were saving them for tax stabilization next year, so we will be able to.
Okay,
Well, yeah, every group, and I know EMS has already said it, East Home said it, they're all gonna go after COVID money again.
mhm,
And we're not talking 5,000, we're talking 25,000.
mhm.
So just talk,
That 6,000 some, does it include the actual ones, 1,100 spent?
The 1,100 spent is in labor above.
Is it,
That is its own line.
yeah, I see that. So with the maintenance cost projected, we'd have to add that 11 that's actually been spent.
Yeah, that's what the 66, 26, 25 shows.
So it's
That
70,
includes that.
77.
No,
Oh, okay, so at the actual,
5490 plus.
Plus the
Plus the
1,100 comes to
1136.
66.
oh, I see,
That's to the
5490.
66.
I got you now, sorry, I'm slow.
yeah, I wasn't planning on us being over budget on that. Just wanted to make sure council understood the costs going in.
So you're saying we need to review the swipe card system, so there probably are more advanced systems out there that will collect better data?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
yeah.
so. I think it would say, because we have 3 people in the office, so for example, for us to look at all the live cards yesterday, one staff member, John Paul, printed the entire report, went through, highlighted all the live members. Then Kristen took it and put it into an Excel spreadsheet that we could actually work with the phone numbers, because we don't collect email. And then we discovered that because we had different people accepting membership information, at one time it was here and there and everywhere. We don't have phone numbers for some, we don't have addresses for some, we definitely don't have emails. We need a system where we collect all of the information. We can pull that information and make the list, so it's instantaneous for us. And then it's just a one step.
Well, like, we're supposedly collecting COVID information too, aren't we, as they enter?
We're collecting just that they're vaccinated. We have to,
No, I mean, in the
Yeah.
past, we were to get phone numbers and stuff where we.
they're signing in, yes, we have those sheets, yes, but I haven't looked at those sheets. Again, that's putting all of the information together again.
so I guess the question that Will's asking in committee is, are we willing to go over budget 5,000 between now and the end of the year? And then we look at it again, you know, with next year?
I think we should look at the COVID one.
Well, I think we can take the COVID money so that it doesn't,
Some of it, yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Let's
To pay
see,
for that.
it's, if we'll have a true measure by December.
Mhm.
It could get busier as it gets colder, and you could start getting more people signing up.
Mhm.
Then it becomes a real tough thing to tell, okay, now you can only come 2 days a week or 3 days a week.
Now you're incurring an expense,
Yeah.
serious expense.
Yes, yeah.
ongoing.
Well, yeah. Well, I think if we will be incurring an expense just for the new swipe card system. And I think we're going to have to look at what we're charging.
That will be for the
Yes.
next budget.
Yeah.
So we'll have more information on that because we're looking into the new systems to try and get some pricing for that. Just coming up to the end of this year, our expenses are going to stay on budget, our revenues are going to be under.
Yep.
But we do have a lot of interest,
Mhm.
but we just have to make sure that we're meeting our requirements to keep everyone safe.
And is
Well,
it as of
okay.
tomorrow that we have to be showing ID for,
Yeah, so as of tonight,
At midnight, yes.
we have to shut the doors.
Yeah.
And then if council wants, then we'll have to get everybody to go to the township office and show ID and their double vaccination card. And then we can reactivate each fob from there.
Yes.
Okay.
we want to make sure that council's aware that they're gonna be shut down tonight until each person has the opportunity to come in.
We have no choice.
Yeah,
No,
We tried to find a better way to contact everyone and let them know and make a policy.
can they email that in? Can we
No.
leave? No, they have to
So
show
they
it
have to show
physically.
ID. Originally, that's what we were working on, and speaking with the health unit for 2.5 hours today. They have to come in and show ID,
Okay,
because, so you can't bring your
Yes.
daughters or whatever
Yeah.
vaccine card.
There's no information on it, just a name. and
okay.
It's easy. Anybody can make one up.
So we have to do the best that we can. We have to show that, we're doing our due diligence.
So we will have a note on the door. Okay, and I think it should be according to health unit rules, so the staff doesn't start getting the flack. Why do I have to do this?
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'll make sure my contact's on there as well, so
Okay,
we can explain it, and everybody should know, because it's right in everything that gyms are not one of the exceptions.
they
So-
should know, but,
We've
So-
actually had a couple of people proactively coming in with their.
Oh, good.
information, so,
okay.
Some people that read it.
So on the same,
Review swipe card system. So we need something,
We're gonna
putting more info on it, or
just user friendly so that we can stay efficient without using all of our resources to pull the information.
when they come in to get one, then
And as
there's
the
so much
rules-
info.
As the rules change, and they change daily, for us to enforce these rules, it would be easier for us if we had a swipe card system that had a reporting system that we could use. It's user friendly for us, where we could pull a report, send out an email and say, this rule has changed, we need you to do this. And it would just be better, we would be able to give better service.
And it would be more cost effective in the end.
Exactly. Then we can maintain. what we-
one of the things we can look at is piggybacking off the fire department's fob system. So we can look into that as well,
Exactly.
because
So
ours,
it's got more info.
we have a lot more information, and we can do a lot more things at the palm of our hands. So I can actually shut a fob off by phone.
So if someone, we saw where they used it, we know they don't have a vaccine, then you can shut them down.
Yeah, or in an emergency, like the province tells us, no, we have to shut this down. We can do it on a weekend, we can, or if something happens, we have a pipe break or something, we have to shut it down, we can shut it down at any time.
Maybe the system to go there.
So the other thing that we'll have to be aware is, I guess as of tomorrow, we don't have to show vaccination or negative report because we're all employees and staff and council. But if anybody from the public comes in, they would have to show proof of vaccination or have a negative test. So we're gonna have to decide if we're gonna go down that route or if we're gonna keep things on YouTube and Zoom and
So
you said though that there's gonna be two separate parts. The revenue part,
retail.
retail.
yeah, for the office.
For the
So for the office, if they come in to pay their taxes or dog tag or anything, they don't have to show anything. If they want to make an appointment with the planner or the CBO, they'll have to make an appointment. They'll have to show double vaccinated or a negative report within 72 hours, I believe it is.
Plus ID.
Yes.
Yeah, plus ID for the double vaccination.
And we will continue our screening processes for all of our staff.
We have to, same with the gym, the screening processes will continue. The masks, if there's 2 people in a vehicle, masks will be worn.
With the fire department fobs, then you can program only certain doors.
Yep.
So,
And we can do certain access, so we can grant it for 24, 48, a week, 2 weeks,
there was
6 months out of the year.
If they pay for a year, then you can.
Well, that loss is on the same. Can it be put on the same system as the rest of the building?
Yeah, so station 2's on the same system as well, but they're all different doors, so I can let somebody in this door, but not that door. We can let them in.
So we could just add another door.
That's what we're hoping, yes.
The only thing is,
Issue more cards.
the only thing is though, because our information is stored on our server. So if they come buy a membership at the office, it's gonna have to be through our company server with a remote desktop protocol coming to the community center. I can't just put it on.
Correct.
Wills. So it's no big difference. It's just the
Yeah.
software will be on our server.
That would-
You know, Steve.
We would be able to access it at both locations.
What's it cost per
I'll have
hour?
to find that out.
We
I
don't
just
have that.
read on that, so.
We have to
When
make
you had
sure.
another firefighter, was there a cost per fob?
I just go in and log in.
So that only be the cost for adding another door changing.
Yep.
Shouldn't be that much, then.
It's hard to say.
Well,
We
then,
also have to make sure that it's secure on our server and if you're
Right,
remotely, there's a lot of digital security that we have to look at.
well, then you have to issue fobs for all these extra people as well, because we'll be changing the fobs, am I correct?
That's correct.
That's right.
So
That's
there's
right.
a cost to those fobs.
Just the fobs. But we might be able to reuse the same fobs.
What is what is a fob worth to?
I think when we got them, they were like $6.
Also, it's not real.
It's much like the box that we have now at the fitness center there. We charge a $10 removable fee.
Mhm.
And they're, I think for $7 for the actual box. And then there's the
So
administration.
we won't be owed anything from fobs.
That's the way to go.
Bill, was there anything else?
No, that's it for right now.
Okay. Chris, Croskery-Hodgins.
I'm just thinking of all this, so I'll just chime in as we go on.
Okay, so we can go on to committee reports.
Well, we did have a rec committee meeting, but James will speak on that. The only thing I wanted to add to it was that we're having the movie night Saturday, the 25th, and the museum will set up a concession stand there.
Perfect, good. Councilor Martin?
No meetings. We're supposed to have one tomorrow night for source water, and it was canceled today.
Okay. Yes,
I
have you had a library meeting?
I had a meeting with the CAO of the library and a tour of the library as a pre-rep to our meeting, which will be next Monday. So that's all I have, but that'll be my inaugural meeting with the library board.
And I heard today at the library that they will take your vaccination certificate, which is that, mine is that big,
Mhm.
and they'll make it wallet size,
Oh,
laminated for $3.
Yeah.
So if you can check on that before I go wailing in to get,
So
because I got mine right here, I'm ready to go.
mine's all folded up, so it's,
Well,
doesn't look so great anymore.
I've already put a grocery list on the back of it, so I think I need to do something a little more intelligent.
Laminated would be nice.
Yes, would
So-
be, yeah.
That's what I heard today, but you'll be able to tell us once we meet
I
again.
will
Yes.
follow up on that.
October, we're supposed to get something, aren't we, to you on our phone app?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And Counselor Scott.
Okay. From the rec side of things, the playground equipment has been, we're into the final stages, and within 80 days, we'll know whether we'll get that. The last rec meeting, in short, we chose a movie, which is The Lion King. And we also applied for a secondary grant, which will encompass the rink shack, the rink itself, signage, gravel, basically the start and a hard top surface for the whole thing. And because of the way the grant reads, if I remember correctly, we're under the amount of population, so it's 100%. So if we get that, our rink will be, we're gonna expand it back to what it originally was. It's all gonna be paved, and which will include 2 basketball nets, a pickleball court, and then new boards.
Aluminum boards, yeah.
Yeah, and I looked in the aluminum boards and I can't find them anywhere.
So they're on there. There's, I know other small municipalities that have gotten them, so.
Okay, I can't find them.
Okay.
That's me personally,
Yeah.
but I can't find them. Doesn't mean they're not there. I just don't know how to find them.
One of them just seems soft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the small community that I heard, they were $50,000 to put a rink size, but I mean, this is grant money, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't
I
consider
think
it.
it's our plastic, plastic stuff.
I'm not
I
100% sure.
agree. I thought the same, Tom, when I heard this, but maybe they line the aluminum. with
Reinforce it or
plastic.
something, yeah, I don't know.
That would make sense.
Aluminum bent so easy
Oh,
it
with
rips.
Putboard on the
Yeah.
inside of it, yeah.
Yeah, aluminum with
Possibly
putboard.
a skate could cut it easy.
And I don't have the minutes and I'm pretty sure that's pretty much all. There was a few other little things we talked about, but we're not ready there for it. Yeah, there's the new signage for there. So that, because the sign now, we can't advertise on it because nobody can reach it. So the new sign's gonna be. And there's tables and chairs or picnic tables.
Picnic tables and benches.
Yeah, good. And they should be, I think we said plastic or something that's
Non-flammable?
like, no, very little maintenance. I don't want wood and then you have to take it every year and it's too time consuming.
Tables that are steel and they're accessible.
Well, it's good that, there's a grant money for stuff like that. I think it's good.
I think there's more and more coming along, but this is in my little world that if this all gets done, then we're kind of set up to later on really look at putting a roof over that building.
The money's coming out. Commander Hall just got 11,000 from Trillium
Yeah.
to help out with costs. So the money's coming out.
Mhm.
So we get this one and that's kind of like our one step thing, and then maybe later on we could. In the next term, looking to get a roof.
Mhm. Did we
Get
get,
a job ready or
Yeah.
shovel ready.
did we get that grant put in yet, or we're working on it?
I have it on the agenda tonight for approval by council. so
When does it have to, when did it have to be in?
30th, I think.
One's
I remember.
September 30th and one's October.
I'm just wondering, because if you couldn't find the
There was a
aluminum boards,
That's
We
just
list-
me.
Oh, we just list,
It's
okay,
all-
all right.
There we go.
I think the more things we can do to get people outside, the better.
That's what all of these
Absolutely.
programs are
Yeah.
aimed for. So this one is, oh no, that's the red. So that one, October 1st, so this would be September.
I think it was September 30th, if I
See
remember
it right on the
correctly.
back page.
Yeah. Good.
Okay,
If the roof, you want to shovel snow.
Even when we had the one at Calendar, we still had the snow blower. But-
They're not the same.
Eventually, the ice lasted way longer.
Keeps the sun off.
Mhm.
Starts, so
Keeps it shaded.
shaded, and in the summertime, if you do have that, you could end up with weddings, functions that could be held outside. So
Yes.
There's more, there's more,
yeah, Calendar has a trade show every year under there, under there, yeah.
there's more stuff we could possibly do, farmer's market.
Yeah.
There's more things we could do if we can get this, but we gotta start at the bottom and work our way up.
Good.
Giving out a lot of money.
Arnstein does the farmer's market.
Excellent. Any questions otherwise for James?
That's good.
Good, well done. I've just got a brief administrator's report from East Tom, and again, funding announcements. It's funny, the news picked up on the last one that we had to pay for our sign. That was all they picked up from it. And so I went and asked this time how much. And we have to be directed by the government. They will tell us what materials we need, what signage we need, and how big it has to be, thanking them for, giving us the money. But the interesting thing, structural engineers, right now, there are 16 air units on the roof, 16. With the new government grant, the engineers have come in and they're proposing 2.
Yeah.
And they would be the size of a tractor trailer, up to, I think the one said up to 50 feet. The only problem is now the structural engineer is coming back and going,
Oh,
the roof won't support it.
Won't support
You
it.
can't, and the other thing, what Easton was coming back, if that breaks down, that one breaks down, then half of the home has nothing.
That's right.
No heating, no air, anything. So they're suggesting you might want to go back and look at maybe 4 smaller units that, you know, one can cover the other.
Then they can move people.
Exactly, but again, cheapest is 2 huge units. And if they get them, I want to be there when they put those on the roof.
Yeah, because I don't be under it.
No, no.
How can they be cheaper if you're gonna have to change the structure underneath them to?
Well, right now, no, they're not looking at changing the structure. They just look at, this is the unit, and that's what it's gonna cost, and it's cheaper. Well, now when we go to the other engineers, they're gonna come back and say, no, you have to change the structure, it's not gonna be cheaper. So exactly that, but
Yeah.
2 different engineers, 2 different groups.
And that's gonna raise the cost of your engineering plan. Because 2 conflicting groups.
Yep.
How do you win that?
Well,
don't.
right now, it's, here it says, site visit was planned, and we need to determine requirements and have the structural engineers meet with the mechanical engineers. So they all have to kind of get together, so that'll be interesting.
More hourly fee.
yeah.
Yep, thankfully, that's all grant, you know, but it's still, I mean, they're looking at 5.3 million, so, you know, there's a lot of money there, but
Well, that explains why HVAC went from 20% of the cost of the building up to about 60% of the cost of the building.
It's ridiculous.
so we will see, but I found that really interesting, and, you know, aesthetically, how will it look with 2 basically tractor trailer things on the roof, but anyway, we'll see who wins that one. It seems they continue the temporary work or wage enhancement goes now till October 31st. And again, the issue with that is when the PSWs get a wage enhancement, then next you have, you know, your next group up. So, well, they want $4 more an hour. Then the nursing staff wants $4 more an hour, and it just,
Yeah.
it works out. So it's going to be really interesting negotiations, and they're just about to start that. But we'll see. And at the same time, the funding they got for testing was called containment, and they've cut the containment funding every 3 months. And so now you still have to have it. They cut it down to only 8 hours a day. Before they had it for 12 hours a day. It's 8 hours a day, but for the number of people they're testing, it's coming up to be a couple $100 an hour, a couple hundred every test. And it's a rapid test, which you could pay $30 for. So now they're going back to the government and saying, why do we have to do this for this period of time? Because that we have to pay for, or Eastham pays, and then we end up paying. So they're going back to the government with that. So those are the things going on right now. They also have Canador's there and CTS. So they have placements there. So that's great if we can pick up, you know, PSWs or and Canador has 12 RPN students there as well. And all the testing now is at the front. So if you go to East Home and you work, if you're a worker, you park at the back and then have to walk around to the front to get tested because they can't afford two locations. And of course, public is at the front. And Directive 6 is what they call, what Will talked about as a vaccination policy. And they've looked at options presented, and because the residents in Eastham have had the booster. all the residents have had their third shot now. So, but the number of staff is still well below accepted. So, they're looking at, what can we do about it? And really, there's nothing they can do about it, So they will either be tested or bring in whatever, or we'll have rapid tests at East Home. So, that's what they're looking at for that. And the only other thing is, we were just notified that insurance has gone up another 15%. And they also cut our policy by $5 million. So it went up 15%. They cut $5 million in the umbrella package. And they said, we asked if we could look around, and they said, feel free, because nobody will pick up your policy any place in the province or the country. So, so that was another call to our member of parliament provincially. What are you gonna do about this insurance? And I know Calendar, their insurance, what did ours go up here? Theirs went up around 40%.
Holy.
26, 20 something.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
So,
17%.
I thought we were only 17.
Yeah,
I thought we were
17%.
really well considering the others.
so that's what they're looking at. So this is an epidemic, not only for long-term care, pardon me, but for, municipalities. And other than that, everything's rosy. Everything's
Okay.
good. It's good, because as long as there's no COVID in the building, knock on wood,
So
it's good.
that's right.
So with that, we can move on to adopting minutes. And these are from September 7th, and they need a mover and a seconder, Councillor Moore and Councillor Marchant. So it's R 2021-205, moved by Councillor Moore, seconded by Councillor Marchant, that the minutes of the meeting held September 7th, 2021, and the minutes of the special meeting held September 7th, 2021, be adopted as published. All in favor? Carried. So just one. So the next one is number 5, recognizing September 30th, 2021 as the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. We can discuss this again. I did look locally. North Bay has accepted it, Powassan has accepted it. I believe Calendar did. I don't know what they're doing in yours, no.
But I've heard, I've asked, but they won't say.
And this is the other thing. Recently, the federal government passed legislation that designated September 30th as a National Day for Truth and Reconciliation to commemorate the history and legacy of residential schools in Canada. The Ontario government will be observing September 30th, 2021 as the day of commemoration to reflect on the tragic history and ongoing legacy of residential school. And this, our premier has said it won't be recognized, but it says in order to properly honor the date at Tribunals Ontario, all tribunals, including the Assessment Review Board and Tribunals Ontario offices, will be closed on September 30th, 2021, providing an opportunity for staff and adjudicators to learn about and reflect on the history of residential schools and to honor lives lost. So it's funny that Premier says one thing, but the Ontario, this arm of government is taking it off. So this is a motion that we put in last week, and if you want to further discuss it.
There's
Yes.
just one comment.
Yep.
And I'm not against it, don't get me wrong. One thing Kenora did, I don't hear than CBC, is that they are closing down, but their staff are going for 4 hours of training and visitation to some of the First Nations around Kenora, I guess that's word used now, I don't know. But, and then they're having a talk from some of the local elders, and the city of Kenora has decided to do that, but make it into a learning session rather than just saying go home and do nothing.
Yeah.
So it's just something, it was quite a nice interview that I heard on CBC with the lady from the town of Kenora, the city of Kenora, town, I guess.
Mhm.
That's a good idea, and there's several reserves up there, and that's probably why. I haven't heard of anything like that locally happening,
Mhm.
but it is a good idea. I like
They
that
said
idea.
it's more beneficial rather than just saying day off to
Mhm.
provide training, in which, Kenora has always had quite a problem.
Yeah.
With around the area there.
Yeah.
And I see, and I mean, again, that's why I agree with schools being in school, because
Yes.
a lot more, they'll get a lot more out of that day than, again, if they just had.
Had a day off, exactly, because that's what it would turn into, a day off.
It should be part of the education on that day.
Okay, will be.
Yeah.
So we will, I need a mover and a seconder. Okay, both Councilor Moore and Councilor Kirky. And so it's number 2021-206, moved by Councilor Moore, seconded by Councilor Kirky. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Nipissing does hereby commit to recognizing September 30th, 2021 as the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation by sharing the stories of residential school survivors, their families and communities, and observing the day as a statutory holiday. All in favor?
Old Trudeau tells his staff to get the old age pension every day.
Now, the next one, number 6, this is training purposes, education and training. What was that again?
First aid, CPR, health and safety training.
So I need a mover and a seconder, and that is for October 26th. Councilor Marchant and Councilor Scott. Thanks. So it's R 2021-207, moved by Councilor Marchant, seconded by Councilor Scott, that the township office be closed for education purposes on Tuesday, October 26th, 2021. All in favor? Carried. Okay, these are the funding applications. First one's for the Community Building Fund for Heritage Park. And I know Councilor Scott wants to move it, and it's seconded by, okay, Councilor Marchant on this one. So it's number R 2021-208, moved by Councilor Scott, seconded by Councilor Marchant, that we authorize the submission of a funding application to the Community Building Fund capital stream for upgrades and additions to Heritage Park. All in favor? Carried. And the other one is for Rural Economic Development Program for Broadband and Communication Connectivity Study. So we'll move under a seconder, Councilor Moore and Councilor Kirk, we move around. It's number R 2021-209, moved by Councilor Moore, seconded by Councilor Kirky, that we authorize the submission of a funding application to the Rural Economic Development Program for a broadband and communications connectivity study for the township of Nipissing. All in favor? Carried.
That's at 30,000.
That's-
We'll let them know we have 60,000. We're thinking now with the modernization.
Okay, we move on to number 9. This I have to read first. This part of our meeting is declared a public meeting pursuant to the provisions of section 3412 of the Planning Act, RSO 1990, to discuss an application for change to zoning bylaw 2020 of the Township of Nipissing. And this is just to amend the zoning bylaw, but I will read all of this before we proceed. And this was basically anybody that got caught, that they, John Paul, they,
Yeah, just like just include a transition provision to recognize that permissions that have been granted for minor variances that were approved within the last 3 years, that they can still get a building permit.
right. So we have passed all of these previously. And so this I have to read. This is being a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw 2020 as amended. Whereas the corporation of the Township of Nipissing proposes to amend zoning bylaw 2020 as amended, whereas section 34 of the Planning Act, RSO 1990 CP 13 as amended, authorizes the council of the municipality to pass zoning bylaws to regulate the use of land, buildings, or structures in accordance with section 34(1) of the Planning Act, RSO 1990 CP 13. Now therefore, the council of the corporation of the town of Nipissing enacts that bylaw 2012-20 as amended is hereby amended as follows. Section 1-17 shall be added following section 1.16. It shall read transition approval for minor variance. Notwithstanding the provisions of this bylaw, approvals granted for minor variances in zoning bylaw 2012-12 following December 1st, 2017 shall be deemed to comply to zoning bylaw 2020. And so I need a mover and a seconder. Okay, Councilor Marchant and Councilor Kirky. So our 2020-21-210. Moved by Councilor Marchant, seconded by Councilor Kirky, that we pass bylaw number 2021-42, being a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw 2020 as amended, read a first, second, and third time, and pass this 21st day of September 2021. All in favor? Carried. Okay, this came from Peggy, and eventually, I think she suggested it's going to be sideways.
We're gonna do major changes to our organizational chart to move everything. She wants everything from a sideways flow.
This
It was just.
just to go this way. But for now, it's going that way, up and down. Are there any comments or questions on this?
I had a couple.
Okay,
I noticed that on the one that we originally, that this one is going to replace, we had chief building official under land planning and technology administrator.
Under legislation, the building official actually only answers to council. So for operational.
Okay. And what about the animal control? Is that under bylaw enforcement?
We do that as a contract, but it would be under bylaw enforcement, yes.
Okay. So under operations superintendent service contracts, what would that be?
That would be when we have our roads done, the resurfacing through that's when we do things like that.
Okay,
Grinding,
Yes.
and,
like grinding at the dump too. The waste,
Okay,
whatever,
all right.
I don't know what it's supposed to call it, dump.
yeah, landfill. And what other question did I have here? So we've got the auditor, planner, and lawyer down
They
here.
don't answer to anybody.
Okay, that's what I thought.
There is a resource for all of staff.
All right.
But they do not answer to anyone on that chart.
Okay. That was it for
What we
me.
pay them.
Yep.
Any other questions?
And the administrative assistant deputy clerk, new position.
Okay. And you notice it's a working document. We're accepting it now, but it will change again, but we have to have this pointed out to move on. So a mover and a second, Councillor Scott and Councillor Kirby. Number R 2021-211. Moved by Councillor Scott, seconded by Councillor Kirky, that we pass bylaw number 2021-43, being a bylaw to adopt a revised organizational chart for the Township of Nipissing. Read a first, second, and third time and passed this 21st day of September 2021. All in favor? Carried. Okay, correspondence. I don't think there's anything new. So we always get a letter, thanks from the library for paying our fees. The Energy Board notice that Councillor Kirky had mentioned to us is in here. Yep.
Yeah.
Found its way to us. The Golden Sunshine Municipal Nonprofit Housing Corporation. It just had its minutes from President Bridger and property manager Amber McIsaac. And then from Steve Clark. This is all about site plan control guide.
It was just a huge package.
I know, it's a
It's
lot.
two councils, so it has to come to council.
So that will be more for our planning people. And again, if we need to go to site plan control, John Paul will make us aware of that. And then we can read it at our leisure. But it's quite lengthy.
It is.
That's some interesting examples for other municipalities.
Right. And they have the
So
city
That's it.
Timmins was in there,
Yeah.
so we have it on file. And we can use that should we need.
We
site
might
plan
end up
control.
Some committee of adjustments, because it's
Yep.
widening of roads and
Mhm.
Mhm.
off-street parking and that kind of stuff,
Yep.
so.
It's even in the township, every property in the town is subject to site plan control. So if you ever felt the need to do that on a certain property, that is a tool
Yeah.
to regulate property.
So to accept correspondence, ooh, you win again, Councilor Moore. Your side is first. Councilor Moore and Councilor Marchant. That means you guys get the accounts
We
to
got
pay.
shoulders, we got.
Yeah. we can do
It's
this.
school board this time, so
Yeah.
really it's beyond our control.
So it's number R 2021-212, moved by Councilor Moore, seconded by Councilor Marchant, that we accept the correspondence as presented. All in favor? Stickers. I actually do look, you know. The accounts,
Yeah, I just mentioned one thing in the accounts.
yes, please.
I'm not sure if Councilor Kirky was with us when I brought it forward, but the provincial offenses court, we're in an agreement with the city of North Bay that came from down in the province years ago. And for the first time this year, we're in a deficit position because they did not have court. So we did get billed $2,073.91. That was not budgeted, but it had to be paid.
Okay, I was going to question the POA distribution net costs,
Yes.
part of my highlighted part, but
Good, okay.
now we know.
I just wanted to bring that.
Was there
forward.
anything else that you wanted to question?
Unit 15 tank. DRD distributing.
Oh, it was
437.
It was fuel tank for, slip tank for the, fill the equipment up,
Oh,
our old one. No good anymore.
failed?
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else? Anyone? Well, in that case, Counselor Scott and Counselor Kirky. It's the first hand up on correspondence.
You did.
It's number R 2021-213, moved by Counselor Scott, seconded by Counselor Kirky, with the statement of accounts dated September 8th, 13th, 15th, and 17th, 2021, totaling $284,900.16 be approved. All in favor? Okay, confirming bylaw. Who would care to move that? Counselor Moore, Counselor March.
Now we got the hammer.
The one that let us go home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can sit.
Oh, we can sit a while on this next one.
Vote in the rain.
number R 2021-214, moved by Counselor Moore, seconded by Counselor Marchant, and we passed bylaw number 2021-44, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held on September 21st, 2021, read the first, second, and third time, and passed this 21st day of September, 2021. All in favor? Carried. Yeah, I'll just ask you two again.
I got 284 reasons not to.
That adjournment, mover and seconder. Okay. There's nothing on this one. Evidently, Counselor Kirky wants to be here.
On the slow vote.
So it's number R 2021-215, moved by Counselor Kirky, seconded by Counselor Moore, that the meeting be adjourned at 7:28 p.m. Next regular meeting to be held October 5th, 2021. All in favor? Carried. And I thank you all.